crack when they put this manual together. Yeah, it's all late build stuff. Thinking maybe there's something that's possibly like way out of sync here, but I'm not seeing it. Nope. Nope. Okay, so let's go back to front. And so that's page 1. And you go straight to page 2. So like, okay, so page 1, you do the motor mount, and then page 2, you do the steering rack, and then page 3, you build a shock seal assembly, but you don't even, and then you, page 4, you finish the shock build, and page 5, that's what we did the other day, and then page 6, oh, okay, finally. I see. So they want you to do, yeah, I see. So they want you to assemble the steering rack so you can mount this all at the same time because the rack goes through the belt. But that doesn't matter. You could put this on first and then put the steering rack in later. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, so part B, that's a 3x8 countersunk. Pretty sure we have some of those, and that would be what, 3 total all the way it goes here. That suggests 1, 2, 3 screws. Yeah, so we're gonna need 3. All right, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't like how this 2-piece works like this. It's just a little bit finicky. Alright, so this goes to the front, and the slipper is going to go off to the right side like this. I see. 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Those holes aren't even aligned. Is that really how it's supposed to look? Yeah, look at that. So the motor mount kind of mounts at this oblique, this weird angle, and that's by design. Isn't that messed up? Just like that. Oops, not like that, like that. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. Come on, get in there. Okay. Oops. Put the other screw head on. It's 2mm. Alright. Do this guy. Okay. And then do this. So, I didn't really set up the tension for the slipper or the ABS. I just kind of, hand cranked it just a little bit. Obviously, when you're setting up the car, that's when you would actually determine the appropriate tension for it, for both sides. Now here's, oh man, so here's the fun part. If you want to change the slipper pad on this side, okay, I guess that's not too bad. You undo this nut, and then you just take the slipper hub off, put a new pad in. That's like any other slipper assembly. But on this side, you have to actually take this piece off here in addition to this nut. So you just kind of disassemble this whole piece, and then you take this pad out here, this white pad, and you would replace that. So I guess maybe that's why they set up the motor mount to be two pieces like this to anticipate the need to change that ABS slipper pad right there. Yeah, look at that. You see how this is motor mounts at an angle, but that lines up. The gearbox is also at an angle, right? And then I assume the front gearbox is also going to be at a weird angle. Even though the screw holes themselves don't, I mean, they indicated a little bit, but yeah, I guess so. That is weird. That's the first four-wheel drive buggy I've seen where the entire drivetrain was off-center. That is interesting. Okay. So, do we want to do the steering? I mean, the steering is already assembled. It's just a question of whether or not I want to clean it up for this rebuild. Well, let's get that off. Leave that. Bye-bye. Okay, is there anything that really stands out here? All the parts move freely. Nothing looks broken or cracked. So I will just do a kind of a simple green once over, and that should be good enough. We don't need to tear it down just to put it back together, especially since you don't want to like over thread parts if you don't need to do it. Alright, anytime you take a screw out of plastic and screw it back in, you could potentially be, rethreading the plastic, and that'll just make it wear faster. So if you don't need to do that, don't do it. Let's just see if we can get dirt off of here. Now, I'll be honest with you, doing this kind of video series, like going through the build in real time with you guys and recording everything, it does feel a little weird because I'm just in the basement here talking to myself. I kind of feel like Bob Ross. I don't know if, for those of you international viewers, I don't know if you know who Bob Ross was, but I think in the 70s and in the 80s, he was like a famous painter on American public television. And I grew up watching him. You're like, oh, let's put a happy little tree here. Oh, let's put a happy little steering rack on this car. I'm going to put a happy little bearing here. What a nice little happy bearing. Alright, so let's do this. So we need 3 there. We need 4 more. Plus that guy. Should be right here. Alright. We can clean that up too. No problem. That's just a little bit of, and that'll come right off. So see, we already have a wet spot here, so we don't even need to use more simple green. Just use the existing wet spot. That's another good reason to use like old socks. They do hold some moisture. So if you're using cleaning solution like this, that section there will stay, wet, if you will, for a little while. And so it does allow you to save on how much of the cleaning solution you use, because there's still some left on the sock that hasn't evaporated yet. Okay. So this guy is going to go in like this. Yep, so it's going to go in like this. And let's see. They don't, yeah, this manual, strangely, it doesn't actually do a good job of showing you in a proper 3D drawing how the screw lines up with a particular hole. So you're kind of left to figure that out for yourself, which sucks. Alright, so, alright, oh, sorry, no, I had it the right way. I just got to flip these around. So that means these are going to go 1, 2, these face, this faces the front, that faces the front, So we're going to do these two holes here, and then I see that just pops through, and then we're going to do, right, so these screws pop through this, and we're going to do those holes there. So we need 4 total. 4 happy little screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime Bob Ross made a mistake with his paintings, you're like, mistakes are good, mistakes are okay. It's a happy little mistake. Alright. It goes like this. Okay. And this has to come in through the bottom. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. That's not right. Are you telling me? So I get the impression, oh, I see, it has to go in like this. Yeah, oh God, what a pain in the ass. Alright, it's going to go like this, through the belt. Could you imagine being at the track and trying to fix this freaking thing? If it like breaks. I think I had that once on a CAT 2000. I actually broke this piece. And it was kind of an operation to, let's see, is that right? To put a new one in. So it looks like the belt goes over, yeah, it kind of seats in right there, it seats in right, so it's going to go over, yeah, it goes over this and under this. Wow. That's not complicated at all. That's not over-engineered at all. Alright. I mean, it's clever, but is it necessary? No. I need more than that. I see. So number 3/8. A8. Oh, okay. Sorry. So I got the screws wrong. I made a happy little mistake. Alright, so B, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry. So, actually, I gotta put some 3/8 in the back here. So those are gonna be, what did I say that was last time? I think that was 9mm. Which is about the same as an 8. So, yeah, okay. I'll just get 1, 2, 3, 4 more 8mm screws. Hopefully I have 4. Yes, I do. You know what? Yeah, okay, I see. I could use a deeper one, because that's going to be an 8. This can be like a 10. But do I have 3x10? I do. Good. Alright, never mind. Put this back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So we're going to do, take this out, put you in here. Take this out, put you here. Okay, now we can start putting these in. That's what she said. Tighten everything down. So basically 8 screws of 2 different sizes to attach the steering rack to the chassis. Think about that for a minute. How many screws do you need to attach the steering rack to the chassis in a YZ10? 2. This takes 8. You wonder why I like the YZ10 so much. It's a very simple car to work on, and it is no less good on the track. It's also a lot stronger. The Schumachers are super interesting. Like, it's not like, I'm not a Schumacher hater or anything like that. They're very interesting cars. And as an engineer myself, I can appreciate, the funkiness of these things, but, on more practical terms, actually like working on it and using it and, let's say repairing it, that's where it becomes more of a pain. Oh my god, my arm's getting tired. It's just like I'm screwing in a fresh plastic because these were previously tapped with self-tapping screws, which have a different thread pitch. So basically with these M3 screws I'm rethreading the plastic as if it were fresh plastic. And you do this enough, if the plastic is hard or dense enough, you're going to feel sore. I could get my power screwdriver for this, but I don't want to risk heating up the plastic and really beating it up. The first A-scale buggy I built, I did it all completely by hand without a power screw. Oh my god. It, like, ruined my hands. My arms were sore for quite a while afterwards. Because those have really long screws that go into, like, the bulkheads and things, and it's just... you spend forever screwing it in. Okay, anyway. Look at that. Steering rack's on. All hunky-dory. Good. So now we have to put in the lower front gearbox, and that's going to use, what, 3/8? Okay, really? Just going to use 3/8? Yeah. Alright, well, in that case I think I'll use, should I use 10mm screws? Well, I did 8 on the rear gearbox. Let me check again if that used 3/8. So that used, that's I, 3/8. Yeah, alright. So let me get the front lower gearbox. And actually, we do have a couple of new ones of that, I think. I want to try to make this a clean build if I can. So that's steering rack, boop, 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 caster blocks, pins. Okay, not in there. And I think this is all mostly drivetrain stuff and shock stuff. And some diffs and other things. That reminds me, actually, I had all these alloy diff tabs. Just dump those in there. You know what? Put them in here. There you go. Alright. Now we got another box. Let's put this box aside. Always hang on to your ESC boxes. They're really great for doing car teardowns. You could throw screws in them and, random bits and bobs. You can then sort out later. Let's see here. Hunting for parts. Parts. Okay, probably in the other box. Looking for a happy little front gearbox, lower rear diff housing. Oh wow, there's another one. I only thought I had one. That's nice. That's the lower front. It looks pretty new, right? Front trans housings, yeah, plus some other stuff. Okay. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. That's the upper trans housing. Yeah, alright, whatever. So we'll use this one. Do I have to remove any flashing? That is not flashing, by the way. That's actually for, I think, the rake plate. So you can make sure it's not asymmetrically... so is that right? No, yeah, I know. I think the rake plate goes through that, but it's symmetric, so I don't know why they do that. I really don't. It's kind of silly. But there is a bit of flashing right down here we want to take off. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Alright. See, now we're getting somewhere, as you can see. Okay. I'm going to do 4 there. Yeah. So actually, this is pretty good. You can see how a 3x10 would go, because this chassis is 3 millimeters thick, so that would leave about 7. Right? So you can just sort of test it out like this to see how. Yeah, okay. So I can actually do 3x10s there. So I'm going to do 4 3x10s for the front housing. 2, 3, 4. Now you could argue I should go back and do 3x10s on the rear housing. Maybe if I'm running short on 3x8 screws, then I'll go back and redo that, but 3x8 will hold just fine as well. So I'm not really worried about that. Alright, so we can just plop this on right here. Alright. Two. 3 and 4. All the way in. That's what she said. 1. Readjust my hat here. 2. 3. It's like I can feel the burn in my arms as I'm cranking these screws. Okay, 4. Is that built onto this unit? Yeah, okay. I already did that. Okay. Good. Okie dokie. So now we get to the front arms. Alright, so that's a question of whether we want to do that now or save it for another time. So the next bit is front arms, caster blocks, blah blah blah. That's basically this, which is already done, although I do want to double check these caster blocks here and these arms, frankly. So we should probably save that for next time, because I think we've gone on for about an hour. I don't know if these holes are legitimate holes, because there's the way, like, it's like there's 2 holes in this caster block. I don't know if this caster block was modified, because over here I do have, caster blocks that are basically the exact same part, but it's just one hole, right? So I'm going to guess that these blocks were modified somehow. You know, maybe like, I don't know why he would do that. It doesn't affect the front width. He's just basically reducing the total length of the or the distance between your two pivot points, maybe for some geometric advantage, although it's not clear to me why he would do that. Like, it certainly would affect suspension travel and how it would change droop, so that just seems, I don't know, I want to say stupid. So I'm probably going to have to go to this part, which is, it looks fresh and brand new, but let's see, maybe maybe I can get away with using this part. So I think we'll go over that next time, but let me just take another quick look at, okay, and oh, wait a minute, no, I don't think, maybe they did make two separate parts, because this caster block has, guess what, two mounting holes. Alright, even though the manual only shows one. So that's kind of strange. That's kind of strange. So we'll play with that, and then I think after that we have to do the diffs. Front and rear diffs. And then it's, you know, you're really cooking after that. Alright, let me actually take a quick look to see, because in the back when they do like setup advice, see if they say anything about those caster blocks. So you got toe in, camber, toe in, anti-squat, blah blah blah. No diagram whatsoever for the caster blocks. Okay, wonderful. Oh, so actually, I wonder, maybe on the front. Caster block, single part description here. Okay, so at least at the time that this was made, there was no mention of an alternate caster block. Let's see if, what's it, U1478R, 14, those are the option parts, so I'd assume it's in the option parts, but let me just make sure. Springs, 14, steering yokes, yeah, so they call them steering yokes, not caster blocks, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so let's see if we can find other steering yokes. Not there, so how about here? Caster blocks, 5 degree, 1532T. These guys, I see in here, they don't have 2261J, although that's just a bag. That's not necessarily, yeah, alright, that's not what those parts came in. And I'm gonna guess, yeah, I don't think I saw caster blocks in there. Okay, so 5 degree, wide front bumper, relay shaft, yada yada yada, lay shaft, lay shaft. There's a bunch of purple stuff, rear hub carrier, speed flex, da 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 da. Power roller, and alloy 5 degree front steering yokes. Yeah, so it doesn't really say anything. It's 2290U. Doesn't really say anything about having multiple holes in it. But okay, we will explore that next time. Let me just get back to the part in the manual where I should be. We'll do the shocks later. We already got that. We already got... Yeah, okay, so we're here. Alright. So we'll do that and the diffs. Diffs actually feel okay, but we should tear them apart anyway and certainly clean them up, whatever the hell that is. some kind of grease. Yeah, see it there too. So, okay. Well, yeah, that's it for this time. So we got the center motor mount, steering rack, and part of the front assembly here. This is a very interesting motor mount for sure. And yeah, next time we'll do the front arms. Those will go here. And with all the other associated parts for that, we'll take it from there. So yeah, I guess that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.